Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really provocative idea, one that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, adding in artificial intelligence to the jury box. I mean, could an algorithm really sit as the 12th juror next to 11 people? Let's get into it.
So, to even understand why someone would propose something so radical, you have to start with this number, 94,000. That is the number of pending criminal cases in just one U.S. county, Harris County, Texas. It's an absolutely staggering figure that really tells you the system is under an incredible amount of pressure.
And you know, this isn't just some abstract number on a slide. It's a full-blown crisis. You've heard the saying, justice delayed is justice denied? Well, when a system gets this clogged up, it means real people, we're talking defendants, we're talking victims, are stuck in legal limbo for years. The whole foundation of timely justice just starts to crumble.
Now this backlog, it's not just a local problem down in Houston. The source material we're looking at argues this is a national crisis. And it's not about not having enough people, it's about information processing. The entire judicial system is basically drowning in data it can't keep up with.
Just look at these numbers. They really paint a picture of the scale of this problem. In U.S. immigration courts, you're looking at over 474,000 pending cases with only 262 judges to hear them. Think about that. And back in Harris County, those 53,000 plus felonies are being handled by just 22 judges. That's almost 2,400 cases for each judge. It's not just a backlog, it's a total information overload that our system was never designed for.
Okay, so how in the world could an AI actually help with this? Well, the source gives us this great little analogy to help us wrap our heads around the basic idea. Let's forget about the law for a second and talk about a very, very strange trip to an ice cream shop. All right, so picture this. You're a juror. Witness A gets on the stand and tells you they went to the shop and ordered 2 scoops of chocolate. Simple enough. But they also mention the ice cream machine was broken. See? Right there, a little logical flag pops up. It's a tiny detail, but in a trial, that's the kind of thread you're supposed to pull on.
Okay, now the shop owner, witness B, comes up. They confirm, yep, the machine was totally broken. No ice cream was available. But then they say they were there when witness A ordered it, so wait a minute. We now have 2 witnesses who are both confirming an event that they themselves are saying was impossible.
And just to make it even more of a mess, a third witness comes in and starts talking about taking or sharing this ice cream that apparently doesn't exist. Now, if you're a human juror, your head is probably spinning, right? You're trying to figure out who's confused, who's lying, what on earth actually happened.
So, as a human, you'd be trying to read people, figure out who seems more trustworthy. But here's the thing. The proposal argues an AI wouldn't care about any of that. Its job, its only job, would be to spot the pure, cold, logical impossibilities.
And right here, the AI's role becomes perfectly clear. It's not weighing who seems nicer or more believable. It would just flag the fundamental contradiction. You cannot get ice cream from a broken machine. Everything else, all the other testimony, is built on that one impossible fact. It's just pattern recognition, totally free of the human biases that might, cloud our own judgment.
So let's move beyond the ice cream shop. The proposal says an AI juror could bring 4 really powerful capabilities into an actual courtroom to help sort through mountains of evidence in real, complex cases. So here's the toolkit the AI would bring. First, that pure logical analysis, catching contradictions a human might miss across thousands of pages. Second, it processes information without all the unconscious biases that, let's be honest, we all have. Third, it has an almost unlimited capacity to sift through evidence, way more than any person could ever hold in their head at once. And finally, it's consistent. It never gets tired or bored or has a bad day. The analysis it does on a Friday afternoon is the exact same as it was on Monday morning.
Now, I know exactly what you're thinking because I was thinking it too. This all sounds a little out there, and there are some very real, very valid objections to this idea. The source material does try to tackle them head-on.
And this is the big one, isn't it? Justice is not just about logic. It's about empathy. It's about wisdom, morality, and just understanding the human condition. So how can a machine ever be a part of that process?
So the key counter-argument here is that the goal isn't to replace human wisdom. Not at all.
it's to augment it. The AI isn't being asked to be a judge of character. It's being asked to be a tool. Think of it like adding a super methodical detective to the jury room, one whose only job is to point out the factual inconsistencies that the human jurors can then discuss and interpret.
And of course, what about errors? We all know technology isn't perfect. So what happens if the algorithm just gets it wrong? I mean, that's a terrifying thought in the context of a criminal trial.
The proposed safeguard is what's called a human-in-the-loop system. The AI would just be one voice out of 12. The 11 humans, they're the ones bringing the empathy, the moral reasoning. They hold all the power. They're completely free to question, to debate, or even to just flat out ignore the AI's input. The final verdict always stays in human hands.
Okay, so if society were to even consider going down this road, how would we start? I mean, you can't just flip a switch and suddenly have an AI in every courtroom. The source suggests a really careful, phased rollout to build trust and prove the concept.
This framework would start with something like a voluntary opt-in, maybe for complex financial fraud cases where logic and data are everything. From there, you could expand it to just analyzing evidence behind the scenes. And only then, after it's been proven to work, would you integrate it as an advisory voice for the jury. It's all about a gradual process, making sure the tech is a reliable assistant, not some reckless gamble.
You know, when you boil it all down, the whole argument comes back to this one idea. Our justice system is built on human values. That's the heart. But in this age of total information overload, maybe it needs a more powerful tool for sifting through the facts. That's the logic. The proposal argues we need to find a way to combine the best of both.
So we're left with this really challenging question. The choice we're being presented with here isn't between a flawed AI and perfect humans, because perfect humans don't exist. It's between our current system, which is dangerously backlogged, and a potential new hybrid approach, one that tries to combine our human wisdom with technological precision, all in the hopes of delivering clearer, faster, and maybe, just maybe, fairer justice.